Hello there, welcome to ITV News Meridian.
The headlines this Monday as the South East celebrates. First big win since 1966 as the Lionesses wrought a victory in the Euros.
The win, though, much bigger than football. How the players, including Maidstone's Alessia Russo, have inspired the next generation.
I was so overwhelmed when we won and so happy about it.
Also tonight, the 80-year-old who's recovering after being hit by an e-scooter. Why she wants to see the brakes put on a rental scheme in Kent.
Good evening. Pubs, sports bars, fan zones and screens around the South East were tuned in to a moment of history as England's women's footballers lifted the European Cup after a thrilling match against Germany.
And at the same time lifted the prospects for women's football and women's sport in general for decades to come. The Queen sent a message of congratulations to the team, which ended an unbelievable month for women's football.
Well, Football Association bosses hope it's the start of something new for a young generation, especially those girls who've never really had the chance to play properly before. More on that in a moment, but first, Tony Green on the reaction across the region.
In an unforgettable final, all across the South East, there was plenty of pride in the Lionesses. These were fans in Folkestone as the score secured a historic victory for England's women. The 2-1 win over Germany has shaken things up. And celebrations continue today here at Chatham Town FC with a tasty tribute to local lioness Alessia Russo from Maidstone.
She's from Kent, and obviously being a club that's based in Kent, we really wanted to just let her know that we're proud as much as obviously the whole nation is right now, but these are for her and she's more than welcome to come and try one.
Talk us through what you've got here.
So we've got the Martini Russo, which is here. We've then got the back heel, which is this one, and then for all the youths, we've got the non-alcoholic gold hanger.
For anyone who might think it's a bit too early in the day to celebrate.
Definitely not. It's definitely not. I mean, them girls are loving it right now.
And what about here at Chatham Town?
It's great. We've seen a massive uptake in our soccer schools with girls taking part. So it's really great to see.
Russo used to play with the boys at Bearsted FC, and at this Bearsted Barbers, the talk was of their local hero and her team.
The girls, they done a good job, and I'm really proud of them. That's nice. What I always say is keep doing it, yeah?
It's really good that the women have won, and yeah, I'm really proud of them. It's a really good thing for the country.
I only watched it maybe the semis and the final, just because of the buzz around it, but I'm glad I did, and I think maybe I'd watch it again.
Once the celebrations in the capital are over, Maidstone Town Hall beckons for Russo.
We're extremely proud of Alessia. She's a fantastic girl, a great patron for the area, and we hope to be able to get her into the Town Hall soon and have a celebration.
An England victory is upon us after a long wait, and it seems there's no excuse not to join in the celebrations. Tony Green, ITV News, Maidstone.
No excuse. Well, as the Lionesses enter the mighty Hall of Sporting Glory, the question remains, what legacy will endure for the women's game?
Sarah Saunders has been speaking to the sport's rising stars and seniors to find out what comes next.
Potential Lioness cubs are in training at the Soccer Elite Football Academy in Gillingham. These youngsters have followed every mighty and nail-biting moment of the tournament.
My favourite match was when Alessia Russo did that back heel goal.
I loved watching it, and it was so fascinating because they're all they've got good chemistry and they all just connect.
I'm really proud because I thought because the men's lost it last year, I was very annoyed. But now that the girls have won it, that'll probably make girls football more popular.
Tell me what it was like when Kelly scored the winner.
Oh, the stadium went mental. You could feel it vibrating under your feet.
Alessia Russo trained here with the boys, but for the first time the academy will set up a girls group, responding to a surge in demand.
We want mass participation, so we get as many girls as we can. We're running free initiatives to try and identify local talent.
Women's football was banned by the FA in the 1920s as quite unsuitable for females. Those who loved the game fought battles off-pitch to be allowed on it. Decades of achievement recognised by the Queen today, writing your success goes far beyond the trophy you have so deservedly earned. Gina Riley has been playing football since she was 4, now in the Maidstone Women's Seniors. How do we keep that momentum going now?
I think just still supporting, still showing that you support women's football, turning up to women's games. The WSL games aren't always at convenient times. I mean, some of them are playing at Sunday night at 7 p.m, which isn't convenient really for anyone. Everyone's got work Monday, they've got to go out. And I think if we can support that in a way that's like bringing that to more suitable times, more suitable days, and really putting the message out there that come and support these women, you know, they're footballers too.
As a nation roars in celebration, the future of football is in good hands.
Well, Sarah Gom joins us in the studio. I mean, obviously the legacy really important, but just first and foremost yesterday, just so much joy around, wasn't there?
That's right, Matt. Yeah, pure joy, wasn't it? Some of those celebrations on the pitch and the celebrations off it as well. So lovely to see what it meant to everyone, not just the players.
I felt for the German players because we were all so
Say
used
again?
to being.
What?
No, I did, because you saw their faces, and then. But it was so nice to be on the winning side, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And we've
I
just seen
didn't.
those fantastic. We've just seen those fantastic pictures from that press conference. I bet none of the reporters were expecting to see the team come in dancing like that. We've not seen scenes like that before.
Bit more jaded today. The players looked quite understandably. The glasses were on. They looked like they had a good night celebrating.
They've been partying hard. As they said today, they work hard and they play hard. Fair enough, I would say, wouldn't you?
Oh, well deserved, yeah. What an unbelievable month it's been. Sarah, thank you for now.
Yes, more on that a little bit later in the programme, and afterwards we'll be taking up the issue of whether or not you should feel sorry for the German players.
No, but you know what I mean.
I do know. You're a better person than I am. Right, let's move on and talk about another issue as well, because a controversial e-scooter trial is under renewed attack tonight after an 80-year-old woman was run down in Canterbury and left with serious injuries.
Sarah Carter is still suffering now, more than 4 weeks on. She's demanding an immediate end to the rental scheme, which has been extended to the end of November.
Well, the operating company Bird said its thoughts are with Sarah, but defended the vehicles, as James Dunham reports.
In absolute agony, Sarah Carter needed hospital treatment, her jaw fractured and wrist broken after being hit by an e-scooter as she walked along the pavement.
I had the worst pain I've ever experienced in all my 80 years. I want people to know that I didn't have a fall, as they say, but that I was knocked into by an e-scooter, and without exception, people have said, oh, they're lethal, they should be banned.
The rider of the e-scooter was identified and blocked from the system by Bird, the company which operates Canterbury's e-scooter rental scheme. Using an e-scooter in most parts of the southeast, unless it's on private land, is illegal. But here in Canterbury, these vehicles are allowed to be hired because they're part of a trial which has been running since November 2020. And some of the vehicles have this warning which tells users not to drive on the pavement. Bird say safety incidents remain extremely rare and insist they are deeply committed to educating riders, with speed restrictions in place on the vehicles at 15 miles per hour. Some people in the city centre told us of their concerns.
I've had double hip replacement, so I'm very nervous about anyone going fast on a scooter.
Particularly cruising around pavements just makes it really unsafe for people with prams, elderly people, but just general public. I don't think they're a great idea.
I think they're a good idea for the environment, yeah. I think they're very good. If they could be regulated, I think it would be even better.
Sarah's calls for the e-scooter trial to be scrapped have gained support from this city councillor.
This was sadly an entirely predictable accident. It's one of many that have happened, thankfully none as bad as Sarah's, but we knew that something of this sort was bound to be on the cards, and it's shocking in my view that somebody has been made to suffer for something that could easily have been avoided in the first place.
It could happen to anyone. It could have happened, you don't have to be an old person for it to happen. If he'd hit anybody, they would have been knocked over.
Unable to use her right hand, Sarah's being supported by a carer. And whilst Kent County councils say breaches in safety on e-scooters are taken seriously, the 80-year-old believes the authority needs to get a grip and cancel the scheme as she continues to grapple with everyday tasks more than a month after being hit. James Dunham, ITV News, Canterbury.
Archie Battersby could have his life support switched off tomorrow after a last-ditch legal challenge by his family failed today. The Court of Appeal has refused to postpone the withdrawal of his life-sustaining treatment following a request from the UN for time to investigate the case. The 12-year-old was found unconscious at his home in Southend back in April.
More than 3,600 migrants crossed the Channel in July, the highest monthly total this year. Dozens, including several young children, were brought ashore in Ramsgate this morning. It is more than 3 months since the government announced plans to send people to Rwanda to try to deter the crossings. Since then, more than 11,000 have risked the journey.
The UK's deer population is believed to be at its highest level for 1,000 years, with some 2 million deer across our countryside.
Well, now the Deer Society is calling for the animals to be culled because of the amount of damage they're causing to our countryside and the car accidents they're involved in. But animal charities in our region say it's unnecessary and unethical. Apologies. Chloe Oliver has more.
From Bambi to Santa's favourite mode of transport, deer have long been rooted in our popular culture. But beneath the facade of the friendly fawn lies one of the biggest threats to our woodland.
In their environment, normally there'd be predators that would keep them under control. That isn't a case in the UK. We just don't have any predators. We also have to make sure that we manage the countryside and make sure it stays in harmony with the deer. So tree, crops, all that has to be controlled, and deer will eat them. So we have to control that through culling.
One of the difficulties of responding to these issues is no one really knows the scale of the problem. Across the country, there's estimated to be 2 million deer, but that's just a total estimate because the animals are just so tricky to count. In this enclosure here, there's thought to be 50 deer, but we've been trying to count here for the last 10-15 minutes or so, and it keeps on changing. Every time we count, it's a completely different number, and it just shows how difficult they are to pin down on numbers. So why are there so many? Well, COVID put a pause on culling, which would usually see 250 to 500,000 deer killed each year to keep on top of their ever-expanding population. But not everyone agrees. An animal campaigner from Brighton says shooting deer is not the solution.
Deer culling is completely unethical. Deer are gentle, smart, sensitive animals who feel fear and pain and all of the same emotions that the dogs and cats that we share our homes with. So this creates a perpetual cycle of killing that doesn't solve the issue of deer overpopulation.
8,000 hectares of protected area is currently recovering due to the impact of deer overgrazing. And without their habitat or food, the number of woodland birds has halved too. According to the RSPCA, the animals are also involved in 4,000 car accidents a year. As endearing as they can be, their tenacious appetite and breeding puts landowners in a difficult position. Wildlife experts are calling for drastic action to reduce the herds, including culling. But as a nation of animal lovers, that may be hard for many to accept. Chloe Oliver, ITV News.
Slightly scary at the end there, but we'll move on. You're watching ITV News Meridian. Coming up on the programme.
The Football League is back. Not the best start for some of our teams like Gillingham and Crawley. We'll have a roundup for you.
And it looks as though the largely dry conditions are set to continue for some while yet. I'll be back later with the full forecast.
More on all of our stories today, of course, on our website. All the contact details on the screen now. The website, itv.com/Meridian. You can call us if there's a story you feel we ought to be covering, 0808 1010 095. And as ever, follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
And the ITV Evening News continues at 6:30. I wonder what they're talking about. Here's Charlene White.
Coming up, the Lionesses soak up the limelight from their Euros victory. Thousands of fans packed Trafalgar Square to celebrate the history-making players who've transformed the future of football.
We said that we wanted to make our legacy about winning, and that's what we did.
Also ahead, it's been called space-age surgery. Twins conjoined at the brain are finally separated. And we celebrate the legacy of another trailblazer, Star Trek's Nichelle Nichols. Join us for those stories and more from 6:30.
Well, let's go back to that football. We make absolutely no apology for banging on about it for most of tonight's programme. Sarah joins us again, of course, and a really exciting 24 hours.
Incredibly exciting, and hopefully a result that will have a lasting legacy. In a moment we'll be meeting some of the youngsters inspired to take up the game. Firstly though, a little bit more from the party, which rightly so has been continuing today, with the results celebrated in London's Trafalgar Square, where the England squad were welcomed by jubilant crowds, happy to see them lift that trophy once again. And if Serena Wiegmann's squad were a little jaded after last night's celebrations, they hid it well. Today's scenes came after the team now famously interrupted their manager's post-match press conference before partying long into the night.
You hope that things will work out. That was one of my personal challenges too, to see, okay, in the Netherlands everyone was very familiar and everything went so organic. And my challenge was, can I bring people together from another culture, first staff, then players, with the support of the FA, of course, and then how it works out in this year. It's just really incredible. That's something you dream of, what you hope for, but then it's really nice when it worked out this way.
Well, we can't underestimate the significance of this win, inspiring a generation of girls with more opportunities to play the game than ever before. And we've been out and about this evening. Andrew Pate is with Atalanta Sports Football Club at Swanmore in Hampshire, and Malcolm Shaw is at Whitehawk Football Club in Brighton with the Woodingdean girls. First to Andrew, and a lot of very proud young players out there tonight.
It's fair to say the players here are absolutely buzzing, and some of them were lucky enough to be at Wembley last night. One of those is Evie. Now, Evie, you're number 18 for Atalanta Sports Club, and you've had your shirt signed by England's number 18, haven't you?
Yeah.
And who is that?
Chloe Kelly.
Chloe Kelly, who scored the winning goal. What does it mean to you to be lucky enough to get your shirt signed by the match winner?
Feels amazing. And I'm really happy that my dad bought the tickets a year ago.
Wow, it was a year in the waiting and it was well worth it. Another lucky youngster is Gracie. Now, Gracie is the under-13s goalkeeper for Southampton Women's Football Club. Now, she was lucky enough to get the goalkeeping gloves of England's number 1, Mary Earps, after the game. And it is something that youngsters like Gracie and all of her family will never forget. But the greatest prize really for all of the youngsters here is seeing England win and living out those dreams. Now, you went along to the game last night, didn't you?
Yeah.
What was it like?
It was a very close game from both of us, but England got at the end at the winning goal, and it was just so amazing they won.
It was so amazing. What did you think?
I'd say it was a brilliant game.
Fantastic. Well, and we've got two of the slightly older players here. What does it mean to you to having seen England win the Euros?
It was really good because the boys couldn't do it, so the girls went and done it themselves.
Very nicely said. And just finally, has it really sort of increased your hopes of maybe doing the same thing?
Yeah, seeing them doing that just really made me believe that I could become one of them one day.
And that is what it's all about. Thank you very much indeed. Now, all of these youngsters and youngsters across the South really do believe that their dreams can also come true.
They do, don't they, Andrew? Thank you. Right, over now to Malcolm Shaw at Whitehawk FC. What's happening there this evening, Malcolm? Looks like it's time for training.
Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. We've got the Woodingdean Wanderers Wildcats, that's a girls' team, and we've also got the Crew Club Hawks, that's a mixed team. Some of them were here last night to watch the final. They're all fired up by England's success, of course, today. And I've been joined by Annie, Tallulah, Rhiannon and Dolly, who were all mascots at some of the matches, weren't you, girls? Yeah, what was that like?
It was so nice to be able to see the players up close and see family and friends from afar.
And how did you find it?
I found it really exciting because, like, me just seeing the England team playing at the final, it was really exciting. Just seeing them shoot and scoring, having fun, it was just really fun.
What do you think about England winning?
Well, I thought that it was amazing because we were, like, hoping as they got that far, the men didn't win when they got that far, but the women did
So
win.
right. And how important is football to you?
It's pretty important. It's one of my favourite things to do, and I took it on for my brother. He sort of inspired me. He's been playing since he was 2. So.
Yeah, and England's success, I guess, has inspired you even more.
Yeah, it's brilliant that the Lionesses have come that far and then won the final.
Absolutely. Now, behind you, we've got Ash, who's a coach. So, Ash, just tell me a bit about how popular has girls' football become in recent years, would you say?
So before this tournament, really popular, we started the Wildcats as a summer event and we never stopped, and it's grown and grown, and we regularly get 100 girls in Woodingdean now, and we think after last night it's just going to explode. We're really excited.
And what do you think of the Lionesses, winning such a big tournament?
I genuinely think it's changed everything. Their coach was talking last night about how it's changed society, and I think this has just opened doors. And yes, girls play football, women
and Lola,
play football.
very quickly, you were there, weren't you, at Wembley? What was that like?
It was really cool because we got to see everyone win and celebrate, and yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, guys. Now, we've also been joined by Brighton and Hove City Brass. More from them in a moment, but for now, back to the studio.
Brilliant. We look forward to that. Thank you, Malcolm. Right, to the Commonwealth Games now and more celebrations. The medal tally for Team England is rising. Dartford gymnast Gianni Regini Moran has added a floor bronze to his collection. And congratulations to Kelly Sim from Whiteley in Hampshire after winning gold with the England gymnastics team, and to Maidenhead's Kate Crowhurst, another gold medal alongside her guide Jessica Fulliger, this time in the women's para-triathlon.
Amazing. I'm so happy. The experience was so incredible, and to have Jess by my side was amazing.
Yeah, it's been a magical day, a lot of emotions. I'm so proud of Katie. It's going to be a day I don't forget, that's for sure.
Brilliant. So England currently sit in second place in the medal table, up between Australia and New Zealand. Right, back to football now, and the return of the Football League, beginning in the Championship with Reading's trip to Blackpool. Reading boss Paul Ince described Blackpool's opening goal and eventual winner as a silly one to concede. And despite his team enjoying the best of the possession, the Royals couldn't force an equaliser. Oxford United had plenty of chances in front of a 31,000 strong crowd at Derby County, playing their first game in League One for 36 years. Hopes of a valuable first away point were, though, dashed just 10 minutes from time. This 6-goal thriller between Portsmouth and Sheffield Wednesday at the Hillsborough Stadium robbed Pompey of an opening day victory. A late goal from the hosts saw the points shared. Gillingham faced a team with a point to prove in front of a new manager. Wimbledon hadn't claimed a league win since December. Goals either side of the break sent the Gills home empty-handed. Last season's beaten playoff semi-finalists Swindon Town saw their run of 8 consecutive opening day victories come to an end at Harrogate. And Crawley Town made the long return trip from Carlisle empty-handed, denied an opening day win by the hosts' early goal. Well, the Premier League is back this coming weekend, and the Women's Super League kicks off next month. They've earned a really good holiday, though, haven't they?
They certainly have. But Sarah, we are going to remember this for a long time to come now. And you wanted to be a footballer growing up.
Well, I wanted to play, but there just wasn't the opportunity. In fact, my dad actually started a local team just so I could have a go. Thank you, Dad.
Another time now. Here's Pip.
Feels like home, whatever the weather. Valent boilers and heat pumps, sponsors ITV Meridian Weather.
Hello there, all looking fairly quiet to kick off the new month. Certainly for the rest of this week, the emphasis remains on dry conditions, and despite a fairly humid start, signs of something a little bit fresher later on this week. And this is why we've got some fronts poised out towards the northwest at the moment. They'll slowly make their way across us through the course of Wednesday and Thursday, not bringing much in the way of wet weather, but they will introduce something altogether fresher, I think, from Thursday onwards. Out there at the moment, we're looking at dry and fairly clear conditions taking us into this evening. As the night wears on, a bit more cloud feeding our way, but it will stay dry, and for all of us, it looks set to be a bit of a sticky night, all pretty uncomfortable for sleeping. Temperatures for many hovering between 17 and 19 Celsius. Tomorrow morning then, a pretty humid start, cloud coming and going. The outside chance of 1 or 2 spots of rain just skirting around the very far north of our patch, courtesy of a weak weather front, but really not amounting to very much. More in the way of sunshine coming through in the afternoon, although I suspect we'll continue to see quite a bit of low cloud lapping onto southern coastal counties. Nevertheless, in the best of the sunshine inland, another warm day on the cards, highs well up in the 20s. These are the high tide times for tomorrow then. For Chatham there, 4:21 in the morning, 4:30 in the afternoon. Now through Wednesday, we could well see those fronts making their way towards us. As I said, not bringing much in the way of wet weather, perhaps just a few showers, but thereafter, while still warm, it will feel fresher and the nights will be more comfortable too.
Valent sponsors ITV Meridian Weather.
Hello, summer. Piri sponsors ITV Pollen Count.
Well, grass pollen season may now have just about drawn to a close, but we've still got quite a bit of weed pollen to contend with out there. And over the next few days, it looks as though levels will be generally moderate. Do take very good care. I'll see you soon.
Now, Malcolm, who we were talking to earlier on, he did mention the fact that the brass band was setting up. So we're going to try and go back to Malcolm Shaw now in Brighton, where hopefully, are they able to give us a bit of a blast, Malcolm? Are they anywhere near ready?
Absolutely. I mean, there's only one piece of music that we could really end the show with tonight, isn't there? Going to have that in just a moment, but first of all we're going to have a quick chat with the cornet player Martin Shelley, who also happens to be the dad of Rhiannon, who we've just spoken to, one of the mascots, isn't that right?
Yes, that's right, yes.
And just tell me about that moment when you saw her go out onto the pitch.
It was a very proud moment for us to see her going out representing the Woodingdean Wanderers Wildcats. It's a memory that she's going to have for the rest of her life.
Absolutely. Well, the moment has come, guys. Are you ready to take it away? This is Brighton and Hove City Brass.